For your Baycats, number 31, Benitez. Here are the umpires for this afternoon's contest. Handling home plate, Don Michelle. And handling the bases, Scott Costello. Fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able to, and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Baseball is back at the Barrie Community Sports Complex in the newly named Athletic Kulture Stadium. Ben Davy along with Julius Hern for this exhibition matchup between the Barrie Baycats and the Thornhill Reds. Plenty of championship bling on both sides of the diamond here today, but for Baycats fans specifically, their first chance to see the Baycats here on their home turf since winning last September in Guelph.
Yeah, and like we said at the top of the broadcast, as much as this is an exhibition matchup, the Thornhill Reds provide some great competition. A lot of guys that couldn't match some of the players that are in the IBL as we speak, and a couple of guys on that roster that have played in the IBL before. So this definitely will be a competitive matchup, especially with Juan Benitez on the mound. We're going to see a lot of different guys cycling through on both teams.
Thornhill manager Nolan Revin will join us in the top of the fourth inning to talk about his ball club this year. Let's take a look at the lineup that he puts out here this afternoon for the Reds. Leading off in center field is Kravis Batts. Tyler Hill is the right fielder today, batting second. Anthony Silvera, third baseman, batting third. The cleanup man is Warren Kember. He's at first base. Argenis Paz, the shortstop, bats fifth. Jaden Kemp in left field in the sixth spot. Joseph Handley, Benji Litz, and Mitch Sadovsky round out the order 7 through 9 for the Thornhill Reds this afternoon.
And for the Barrie Baycats on the mound, it'll be Juan Benitez, back for his fourth year in Barrie, a key part of that rotation that won the championship last year, and it seems like he's going to be the opening day starter according to Josh Mallow. We'll see how that kind of progresses in a week's time, but with the way that Juan Benitez pitched in the playoffs last year, undefeated in his starts, I think he's a great choice.
3 Baycats pitchers won 7 games last season, and Benitez was one of them, along with Frank Garces and Cesar Rosado. Benitez going 7-1 along with Rosado. Garces 7-2, so no question the best pitching staff in the IBL, at least in terms of starters. And Barrie will roll those 3 back out here again in 2025.
And for Benitez and Garces, 2 of only a select few pitchers in the IBL last year that actually managed a complete game. So that's a statistic that I'm putting an asterisk next to, not necessarily for bad reasons, but that's just something that stands out across this league and the way baseball has been lately.
First pitch from Juan Benitez is a swing and a miss from Kravis Batts, and we are underway here at 4:11 at Athletic Kulture Stadium. 2 umpires today, Don Michelle calling the balls and strikes, and Scott Costello behind the bag at first. This one to second, and the throw to first gets by, and it goes all the way to the wall. And that'll be 2 bases for the leadoff man, Kravis Batts. Let's give you the defense for the Baycats behind Juan Benitez this afternoon.
Yeah, for Juan Benitez, we'll start here in the outfield. Out in left, it'll be Zachary Owen and Tristan Clark in center, another new addition we mentioned earlier. James Anderson getting the start in right. Meanwhile, in the infield, Austin Boylan at third, Adam Ott at short, Jonathan Warden there with the air at second base, Nolan Macabrota starting at first base with Lelise Beltran catching Juan Benitez.
So Warden, as you mentioned, primarily a pitcher, getting his chops ready early in this game, though, with a ground ball to him right off the first at bat. And he'll be on his toes now with a runner at second base and nobody out for the number 2 hitter, Tyler Hill. Benitez goes off speed and it's low. Count 1-1.
Well, for Jonathan Warden, you're definitely right there. He projects more as a pitcher, but basically all the guys that are going to be on the 22U Baycats team this year project as two-way players, and Warden definitely one that favors the mound, but didn't expect to be starting at second base today. It was originally going to be Branfi Infante, but Warden kind of taking that spot start.
On the ground, off the glove of Benitez, and again, it's Warden. Makes a clean throw here. In time, runner advances, one away.
Strong redemption there from Warden, but if you're Juan Benitez, pitching right away with a runner in scoring position, I think that's good for you heading into the season, right? You want to get that experience with the pressure on right away.
So the fielder's choice gets bats to third, and Anthony Silvera, the number 3 hitter for the Thornhill Reds, to face Juan Benitez. This game last year, which again doesn't really mean a whole lot, it's just an exhibition game, but Benitez did struggle in the one inning that he did work. The first inning of that game, the Reds touched him for 3 runs. Didn't hit any long balls off Benitez, but just sort of chipped away, a couple of walks, a couple of ground ball hits, and they got an early 3-0 lead in that ball game. This one lifted to right field. James Anderson, the veteran, with a long way to go. It'll drop for a base hit. Bats comes in to score easily. A play at second. And he's out. So the throw into second gets Anthony Silvera, who tried to take an extra base. The RBI brings in Kravis Bats. It's a 1-0 Thornhill lead.
Heads-up play there from James Anderson, and the rest of his defense communicating with him that the runner had a potential chance for a put-out at second base, and he made a great throw. Kind of had Adam Ott leaning back a little bit on the reception, but able to get back in front and make the tag.
So Silvera thrown out 9-6, bats in to score, 2 outs in the inning, and the cleanup man is Warren Kember. 1-0 Reds, top of the first. Fastball catches the outer part of the plate. It's a strike. Juan Benitez ahead of Warren Kember here.
You're talking about last year, the way Juan Benitez started the exhibition game. It was kind of a trend that he saw in 2023, where he would get out to some shaky starts and then kind of really settle in, through the innings 3 to 6. And we didn't see that a whole lot in last year's regular season. But if he can manage to start the year the same way he ended it, I think the rest of the league is in for a show.
Check swing, yeah, it's a strike, and that'll do it. Down on strikes goes Kember, 3 outs in the inning, but the Reds get on the board first. Half an inning, 1-0 Thornhill. You're watching Baycats TV.
1 run, 1 hit.
We're at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township. It's the Thornhill Reds and the Barrie Baycats. Exhibition baseball today as the Baycats will send their lineup. Looks a little different than it will in the regular season, but here's 1 through 9 for Josh Matlow today. Adam Odd leading off. Tristan Clark, the newcomer in center. Ryan Rio bats third. Nolan Macabrota back with the club in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Warden will play for Barrie for the first time at second base batting fifth. James Anderson in right field bat sixth. Austin Boylan, Lilis Beltran, and Zachary Owen round out the order for Barrie.
On the mound for the Thornhill Reds is Josh Kalman, a new addition to the team, a graduate student from McMaster University in the OUA, a league that's becoming ever so much more competitive over the last few years. Just 5'8", but he's got a lot of power behind that arm, one of the hardest throwers in that league.
So Adam Odd, the leadoff hitter. Swing and a miss, strike one. Odd got a nice hand as his name was announced. Of course, he was the hero, that historic Game 1 walk-off home run to take the series opener against the Guelph Royals here in the IBL Championship Series last September. And a moment that Baycats fans will remember for the ages. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Yeah, and we said it at the moment, and I'll still say it, definitely one of the most thrilling baseball games or sporting events I've ever been a part of. I was happy to be up in the booth with you calling that because it was I couldn't feel my face after his home run.
Defensive swing, he gets a piece to foul it away, 0-2. I think what fans might remember most is the celebration at home plate when Odd rounded third and came in, and you know, the water getting doused on him and the shirt getting ripped off and all the fun stuff that comes with a walk-off moment like that.
You know, and Josh Matlow said afterward, too, that was the first time, at least in his tenure, that they'd had a walk-off home run here. And not even just in the playoffs, but a walk-off home run in general. It was a special moment for the Baycats, for sure.
On the ground foul. One of 10 straight postseason wins for the Baycats, sweeping Toronto, London, and Guelph. Really couldn't have gone any more perfectly for the Baycats in 2024. And their first IBL championship in 5 years. Looking to continue that tradition and legacy of winning. Definitely they will be top contenders and favorites here in 2025 once again.
Absolutely. I think that sentiment shared around the league that Barrie is the team to beat, not only just because of, you know, they're the defending champions, but their roster screams championship quality. Talked about at the top of the broadcast of how basically the entire team, aside from a couple players, are returning on this team. And the new additions are just adding much more firepower.
2-2 the count to Adam Odd as he comes back after being down 0-2. And it's hit weakly to second. Joseph Handley with a throw, and it's not in time. Good job by Adam Odd to beat that out. Let's look at the defense for the Thornhill Reds. Behind Mitch Sadovsky, or Josh Kalman, excuse me.
We'll start in the outfield. Jaden Kempen left. Kravis Batts, someone we've been focused on quite a bit and played a lot here in these exhibition games. He'll be in center. Tyler Hill, a junior player, he's in right. Anthony Silvera at third. Argenis Paz, another big bat at shortstop. Joseph Handley is the second baseman. Warren Kember at first with Benji Litz behind the plate.
So leadoff man aboard, and it's Tristan Clark, who will see a lot of playing time this season with the absence of Noel McGarry-Doyle and Kenny Sejo early on here to start this season. Opens up a spot in center field, and Tristan Clark is expected to get a lot of action out there. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Clark, a 2018 draft pick by the Washington Nationals, and a guy that throws his entire college career was hitting double-digit home runs. So a guy that provides a big power bat, can hit nearly 300. So this is maybe one of the best offensive additions across the league.
And the count is 3-1. A little confusion on the count there as Clark heads back to the batter box. I think he thought he had drawn a walk. 1-0 Reds. We're in the bottom of the first inning. It's a 3-2 count.
Well-placed pitch there from just outside top part of the zone. Don't blame Clark for laying off it, but definitely close pitch.
Speaking of new additions on the field, one of our new off-field additions is our sideline reporter, Maddie Gale, and she's going to join us in the top of the second with a report. Looking forward to that. And to her reports all season long here on Baycats TV. Clark at the plate. The count is full. Odd the runner at first. Nobody out here, bottom of the first inning.
I see Silvera, the third baseman, playing very near the grass, expecting a ground ball.
Infield at double play depth. Odd draws a throw. He's back on his belly. Season opener Thursday night. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Who else? Seems to be the scheduling situation every year with the Leafs here for the season opener in Barrie. Swing and a miss. Down goes Clark on strikes, one away.
Designated hitter number 27, Ryan Rio.
Veteran DH and first baseman Ryan Rio batting third. He'll bat with a man on and one out here for the Baycats. Fan favorite and expected to play a little bit of. There will be some flip-flopping today defensively. Nolan Macabrota at first, Rio at DH to start, but they may alternate a little bit as we go, and the catching situation will be a platoon through the game as well. This one down the line, foul.
And manager Josh Matlow was saying to us earlier that his goal was to get both Nolan Macabrota and Ryan Rio at least 3 at-bats in this game, if not 4. They will bat in the same part of the order, just they'll flip-flop defensively. So we'll see Ryan Rio play a little bit of first base later today.
Wouldn't it be nice for managers if during the regular season you could do that? Just swap out players multiple times during a game? I mean, you think about every other sport, that happens.
Exactly.
I think baseball's the only one where it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
off the top of my head.
So it makes the strategy of the sport, that's just much more different than nearly any other.
Hockey, basketball, football, players get swapped out all the time. It won't happen. Baseball is what it is, but we'll get a look today at what the game would look like if it could happen.
Just think about this as spring training too, right? I mean, it's the only exhibition game the Baycats will have, home opener on Thursday against the Toronto Maple Leafs to start the IBL season.
And that game will be the season opener for the Baycats, but it will be the second game for the Maple Leafs. They're opening at home on Sunday afternoon at Christie Pitts. Tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, against the Kitchener Panthers.
Hard to believe. It's sneaking up on us here. Rio sprays that to left center. It'll drop. Odd round second. He's going to take third as well. The ball picked up in center field and fired in. Runners at the corners for the Baycats with one out.
It's just exactly the kind of hitter Ryan Rio is. He'll wait on his pitch, and he's so good at being able to use the entire field. That one basically just going over the shortstop position and into left center field. Ryan Rio, a guy that prides himself on being able to go the other way, doing just that right there.
Nolan Macabrota back in Barrie, and we saw him here on Media Night on Thursday. Baycats very happy to have him back here for 2025 after getting a look from a Frontier League club in Ottawa. And he was a big bat for the Baycats in the lineup of Josh Matlow last season. And he lifts this to left field. Hit pretty deep. And it'll drop for extra bases and go into the corner. Adam Odd will score easily. Ryan Rio will stop at third. Baycats tie the game at 1 on an RBI double by Nolan Macabrota.
Talk about Ryan Rio being able to spray the field. There's Nolan Macabrota really taking it to the extreme. That one just landing fair down that left field line. These guys weren't busting it out of the box, but you kind of imagine that maybe Rio would have been able to score on that play had it been, typical regular season play.
Well, the ball landed in fair territory, shy of the warning track, and then I think it bounced over the fence in foul territory. Rio has come home to score on a ground rule double. He was at first, so he wouldn't ordinarily. Now they're going to call it a home run. Well, I'll take another look at it when I get home tonight. It looked to me like that ball bounced over the fence, didn't it? They'll have Macabrota circle the bases, and how about that? It's a delayed horn and a home run. A 3-run shot for Nolan Macabrota. I mean, we're looking through the backstop mesh here, and maybe my eyes just got fooled a little bit on here. I mean, the fans as well kind of reacted as if that ball landed on the in-play side of the home run fence, but it's called a home run.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could swear I saw that ball bounce because I was expecting it to maybe slice foul.
Well, no argument from the Thornhill Reds at all. So a 3-1 Barrie lead. That ball in tight to Jonathan Warden, his first at bat with the Baycats. Second base today, but again, as we mentioned, you're looking at a player who's primarily a pitcher. Swing and a miss. A lot of two-way players, as you mentioned, Julius, and a little bit of a shift from what traditionally, you would see with young pitchers coming up through the system. It seems like nowadays, more than previous eras, pitchers are learning to field other defensive positions as well, just to add some versatility and get some opportunities to get into a lineup like this.
I think a lot of the guys that are coming up, young guys, like Jonathan Warden's a great example, a guy that is 18, 19 years old. He doesn't have a college commitment yet, but he's trying to make himself, as versatile as possible. Obviously he wants to focus as a pitcher, but, to get those college commitments, do you want to be as valuable to a team as possible?
A feeble swing there, and he goes down on strikes. 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Josh Kalman, despite yielding 3 in this bottom of the first inning. James Anderson, the veteran right fielder, now to bat. Anderson takes a first pitch strike. Beautiful, sunny, 25-degree day here in Barrie. Little bit of wind blowing in and from right to left, as it usually does here at the ballpark. High and away for a ball, 1-1. Last year, I did not call the exhibition game last year. You did, along with Sam McCoy, but I watched it, and it was a rainy afternoon. It almost looked like the game might not happen at one point. This one hit a mile, but way foul.
Looks like it's a little similar trajectory to Nolan Macabro's home run, except he's, on the pull side for James Anderson as opposed to going the other way, but definitely hooking much farther foul than we thought Macabro's would be.
1-2 pitch, off speed, bounces up to the plate. So that is a ball. Count should be 1-2, I believe, here. And it's a called strike 3 on the outside edge of the plate. So the Baycats go down, but not before striking for 3 to turn a 1-0 deficit into a 3-1 lead through an inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV.
Do bottom second because Boylan will lead off.
The Baycats inning number 1, 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, no 11 on base.
Top of the second inning. Exhibition action between the Thornhill Reds and the Barrie Baycats. And Thornhill will bat here. Heart of the order in the top of the second inning. Arhenis Paz. Shortstop to lead it off, followed by Jaden Kemp and Joseph Handley. On the ground and into left field for a base hit. Paz is aboard off Juan Benitez, out for his second inning of work.
Left fielder number 38, Jaden Kemp.
A couple of notable absences from this Thornhill Reds lineup compared to last year's game. Zach Lampreia and brother Harrison Lampreia. Zach will play for the Toronto Maple Leafs of the IBL this season. Harrison is available for the Reds, but I'm told that he'll be used in more of a as-needed basis with some other commitments. He won't be playing quite as much, but will be available for tournaments and such. So both of them were, I think they batted 2-3 or 2-4 in the order.
That sounds about right.
The game last year, right up near the top.
Well, this Thornhill team has a large roster, and for the purpose of these players have other commitments they have to get to. It's senior men's baseball, but it's very competitive. But we'll see later on in this game. Some of the Baycats junior players will get an opportunity to throw on the mound for the Reds against the Baycats players. Just get that little extra experience later on in the game.
On the ground, right side to second for one, over to first, in time for a double play. Nice job by the middle infield for the Baycats as they turn that 4-6-3. Warden to Odd to Macabrota, 2 down.
Joseph Handley.
We saw Jonathan Warden struggle a little bit to start the game at second base, looking very natural there at second base, turning that double play with very experienced shortstop there with Adam Odd.
Fastball just missed to number 7 hitter Joseph Handley. I have a Reds jersey at home. It's a Cincinnati Reds jersey, and I almost wore it today. Almost. Right into the glove of the first baseman, Nolan Macabrota. The big man reaches up and pulls it down for the out. 3 up, 3 down quickly for Juan Benitez in the top of the second inning. We've played 1.5. It's 3-1 Baycats. You're watching Baycats TV.
For the Thornhill Reds, inning number 2.
Welcome back to Athletic Kulture Stadium. The Baycats lead the Thornhill Reds 3-1 in this exhibition matchup. And our leadoff hitter this inning, Austin Boylan, a big, high-profile signing for the junior Baycats this year, a guy that we expect to see IBL time. But his baseball experience didn't start until maybe later in his career. Matty Gale is on their sidelines. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, I got to have a good conversation with Austin Boylan before the game started, and he told me that he actually started as a hockey player, a pretty talented one actually. That was until COVID-19 hit and he decided he wanted to switch to baseball. Now he's an NCD1 baseball commit at North Dakota State University. He won Player of the Game with honors at the Canadian Futures Showcase, and he also earned the Ontario Blue Jays Jason Freeman Award for perseverance and determination. So he's definitely a player on the rise and one to watch for.
Thank you, Maddie. And a well-hit ball, but Boylan thrown out at second. Still gets a nice hand from the crowd here as they appreciate the quality of that hit and the base running effort, but he was thrown out by a pretty good margin by Reds outfielder Travis Batts in center field. So here's Lilise Beltran, another newcomer for the Barrie Baycats here in 2025. I'm sure Baycat fans will get to enjoy getting to know these new players, Boylan, Beltran, both of whom played on our side of that charity game for Home Runs for the Hungry last week.
Yep.
Got a chance to see them up close and in person for the first time.
I met Lilise that day. I come up from the dugout and he's standing there. I knew who he was, so I go over and introduce myself and shake his hand, and I say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Julius Hern. I'm one of the broadcasters with the team." And he says, "Nice to meet you. My English isn't that good. I only really speak Spanish." So I was not necessarily like off put by that, but I was like, I felt bad in the moment because like, oh, I didn't realize, my bad.
Ball was bobbled by Kemper, but he recovered and stepped on the bag. So 2 out in the inning for Zachary Owen, the number 9 hitter, another newcomer.
Just going back to Beltran really quick, even in that charity game, he looked like he was making great contact on the ball, and he was, he actually Austin Boylan and Tyler Plumpton were the ones kind of pitching to him in that game, but definitely great contact, and it's going to be a great addition for the Baycats.
High fly ball center field. Travis Batts sees it all the way, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Thornhill Reds. So the Baycats go down 7-8-9. We have played 2. It is 3-1 Barrie here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV. Third inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's Barrie 3, Thornhill 1, and on to pitch for the Baycats now, the 2024 IBL Playoff MVP, Frank Garces.
Yeah, Frank Garces, you mentioned it, playoff MVP, and he definitely deserved it. Went 8 innings in the clinching game, leaving that final inning to close out for Brad Grieveson. He's a guy that was front of the rotation pretty much all year, but he piggybacked off of Juan Benitez in the opening game of the season after, Benitez went 4 innings in that game in 2024, but now Benitez coming in, Garces coming into the third. It seems like Josh Matlow wants to go with the same strategy opening week for his starting pitchers.
Might have looked easy on paper what Frank Garces did, but it was truly remarkable. But the fact that the Baycats ran the table going 10-0 meant that Garces only got 4 starts in that entire playoff run. But he struck out 32 and walked just 6 in those 4 games. Incredible numbers. Perfect 3-0. Barrie ran the table. 3 straight playoff rounds.
Yeah, 29 innings pitched. He only allowed 19 hits. Had 32 strikeouts.
7 wins in the regular season, off speed, and it's a swing and a miss. 1 out for Thornhill. And it's the number 9 hitter, Mitch Sadovsky.
Designated hitter number 23, Mitch Sadovsky.
So Benitez goes 2 innings today, allowing just 1 run. And that was the leadoff man, Kravis Bats. Came in to score on an RBI by Anthony Silvera. Benitez got a double play to erase a leadoff single to start the top of the 2nd inning. So good couple of innings of work for him.
Yeah, I was talking to Josh Matlow earlier today, half hour before the game started. He was talking to me about that strategy that I was mentioning earlier, kind of having starters piggyback off each other in the opening week. So it seems like he's going to go with the same strategy last year. Have Juan Benitez start the opening night game, go 4 innings, and then have Garces piggyback off him, and they'll do the same thing the next night with Rosado and Carlos Sano.
Swing and a miss as Garces with a fastball blows it by Sadovsky. 2 down. And Kravis Bats now the leadoff man will hit. Well, the Baycats pitching staff has to be the envy of every other IBL team, the big 3 that carried the Baycats to 21 wins, each of them with 7 wins. Juan Benitez, Frank Garces, and Cesar Rosado. All 3 of them expected to pitch today. We'll also see Carlos Sano at some point. So, exhibition games are great because you get to see everybody, right? Whereas a normal night, you'd get to see one of the Baycats' big 3 in the starting rotation. Today, you get to see them all.
And that's what we see in Major League Baseball with spring training. You got guys going, 2-3 innings if you're a starter, and then you got guys piggybacking off you going 1 inning each. Just get that extra work in, as many guys getting their arms loose as possible ahead of the season.
But even with that, like Major League Baseball spring training, and I went to spring training once in Phoenix. It was incredible. But they're playing pretty much every day, so it's not like they're going to put everybody out there for every game. Situation like this here today, it's just 1 game, and both these teams can put their best players out there, and you certainly saw the Baycats with Frank Garces. Pretty much a perfect inning. Was that an immaculate inning? It was pretty close.
It was pretty close, not quite.
10-pitch inning for Garces. Down go the Reds. 1, 2, 3. Play 2.5. 3-1 Baycats on Baycats TV. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Baycats coming to bat here, up by a score of 3-1 over the Thornhill Reds. Exhibition baseball here to kick off 2025.
Yeah, new pitcher on the mound for the Thornhill Reds is Colby Edwards, pitcher at Florida National. It's NAIA Junior College, class of 2023. He's just 19 years old, but he's a tall pitcher that can throw hard, really like great velocity on his pitches. He's going to get the top of the Baycats order right away.
Adam Odd comes to bat here. He led off the game for the Baycats, singled and scored the first run for Barrie. And here's the first offering, and it's inside for a ball. Well, we're very pleased to be joined upstairs here with the manager of the Thornhill Reds. They call him Rev. Nolan Revin, welcome.
Thank you, Ben. Nice to be back, and nice to see you again.
Congratulations on 3 straight championships. How many is that for this organization now?
I think we're up to 10 now. Could be 9. I'd have to go back and count, but
9.
It is 9.
Yeah.
Okay, 9 it is, and 7 of them have been in the last 10 seasons that have been played.
Just amazing. Inside again to Odd, and it's a 3-0 count now to the Baycats leadoff man. So tell us a little bit about how things went for your ball club last season, and I mean, nothing better than winning a championship, that's for sure.
Yeah, last year was a fun year. We had our struggles. We labored through a lot of the year with injuries. We end up around 500 in the league. And put together at the right time. We're lucky enough Newmarket won the provincial eliminations and weren't in our league playoffs. Could have been a bit of a benefit to us, but end up the boys put everything together and got the job done when it counted.
Yeah, I was talking to you earlier. It seems like you got to take it when it matters, right? And that's exactly what you guys did. Obviously, you guys were saying to me that Newmarket, you seem to be the best team in your league last year, but you got to take the opportunity when they come. You exactly did that exactly.
Yeah, Newmarket had a really, really good season. Winning the provincial championships is it's unbelievable accomplishment. They were clearly the best team in the league last year, and yeah, it was still nice. It was still nice to win without them around, though.
Deep left field, up and gone. It's a solo shot for Tristan Clark. Welcome to Barrie. 4-1 Baycats as that one clears the left center field wall easily.
That one was a no-doubter from Tristan Clark. I mean, right off the bat, the trajectory on that baseball, you knew it was going to be over that left center field wall, and great way to welcome yourself to this Barrie crowd.
So it's a 4-1 Baycats lead, and Ryan Rio now, another big bat for the Baycats, comes to the plate. So tell us a little, for those who don't know, tell us a little about the Greater Toronto Baseball League and the level of play that these guys are involved in throughout the season.
Sure, the Greater Toronto Baseball League is it's what's considered a men's senior AAA level Ontario baseball. We compete for provincial championships in Windsor each year, with the winner of that tournament going on to represent Ontario at the Nationals. That's really what the guys gear up for, is the provincial tournament. So the league is a 6-team league. Newmarket, East York, Leaside, Kendall, Ajax, and Thornhill.
So how did this tradition start, this annual tradition of this Baycats Reds preseason game? Because I think it's been 3 years now or 4 years we've had you guys here kind of for the opening game, the exhibition game. And I know our manager, Josh Matlow, has a little bit of history in Thornhill, and you guys are friends as well.
Yeah, that's really how it started. Josh and I go back a long ways. I coached him as an 18-year-old. And then after his exploits overseas and everywhere else, he came back to Thornhill and played a year on this team before coming to the Baycats. So him and I have remained friends, and baseball have our baseball connection through a number of years. And over a chat and a phone call, we said it might be fun, and here we are 3-4 years later doing it.
When you look back to those early 2000s days with Josh, did you ever expect him to be in the position he is now?
That's a tough question. I mean, Josh is a hardworking guy. He's got a personality of outgoing. He's definitely comfortable in his own shoes. So seeing him do well in baseball and really turn this organization around and put a lot of hard work and effort into it is probably comes very natural to him. And yeah, it's good to see.
So it's a 4-1 Baycat lead. We're chatting with Thornhill Reds manager Nolan Revin. Nolan Macabroda is at the plate. Tristan Clark with a solo home run and a walk to Ryan Rio. So we've got a runner on here with one out, and Macabroda hits this one hard, right side and into right field. Rio stops a second, so 2 on for the Baycats now with 1 away. And Jonathan Warden will come to the plate for the second time today. So for baseball fans in Thornhill, you guys play at Bishop's Cross Park Wednesday nights, I understand. Anybody that might want to keep an eye on your team this season, what are some of the players to watch that you're really excited about having on the field this year?
I'm excited about a handful of guys. Our leader, our heart and soul, is our shortstop this year, Argenis Paz. He's back for another year. Anthony Silvera's coming off a nice year at school. Unfortunately, injured himself here on a slide in the first inning. He had our RBI. He coming off a very good rookie year with us. And we got a couple of young arms too that are up with us this year that I hope will do a good job. Overall, should be a good season. I'm hoping that a little combination of the 7 or 8 new guys we brought in are going to add a little bit of a spark to our club.
Pitch bounces up to the plate. Benji Litz right on that one. 2 on for the Baycats here, and it's a 2-1 count.
Colby Edwards, your pitcher here on the mound, is a new addition, as I understand. What can you tell us about him?
So Colby's with our junior club. We've called him up for the day. He's a young guy. He pitched last in the North Toronto Association. He's come over. He's joined our junior program. We've got him called up today to take a little bit of a look at him.
You mentioned to me before the game Zach Lampreia, who was been a big part of your team for many years now, getting a chance with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who we'll get to see here on Thursday night to kick off the regular season for the Baycats. So even though we don't get to see him today, we will see him very soon.
You will. I expect Zach to have a nice season with the Maple Leafs, and I believe he's listening right now or watching. He sent me a message earlier, so hello, Zach.
I know both Zach and Harrison, his brother, played in last year's game.
He is watching.
Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's lifted foul over our heads, and the at-bat will continue.
So you guys have a junior program similar to what the Baycats are trying to start this year. How important is that to your club, throughout the entire season?
Extremely. There are nights, with men, they have other commitments, jobs, some of them wives and kids. The odd time they can't get to the park. Injuries, of course, also happen with men who are not training and being able to play every single day. So having the ability to call up from, another 20 players is helpful come the dog days of summer and in tournament play.
Warden hits this down the right field line, and it's called foul. Looked like it landed in fair territory, but everybody will go back.
Not from this seat, it didn't. Definitely looked foul.
It looked foul to you? Okay. Yeah, of course, given the jersey that you have on. 4-1 the score, so a chance now for Jonathan Warden, a 3-2 count. He struck out his first at-bat. Made good contact on that last one. What did you think of that ball that was ruled a home run? I was a little surprised there wasn't a little more discussion on that, because to us it looked like a ground rule double up here.
It had a weird trajectory on it. My left fielder made the home run signal quietly to us at the bench, so that's why nobody really went out and said anything. And we had a player down in the bullpen as well who said, yeah, it was a home run. So I actually went to the umpires in between inning and told them they got it right.
Oh, well, there we go. So the bases are loaded now as Warden draws a walk. James Anderson to the plate. Still just 1 out here. Colby Edwards laboring here in this 3rd inning. Middle infield, double play depth, hopeful for a ground ball to get out of the inning. It's the first pitch strike to James Anderson.
And Nolan, I want to ask you about Kravis Batts, your center fielder, a guy that has, in my opinion, seems like he could definitely be a great player at the IBL level. What does he mean to your team, especially being a playoff MVP a couple years ago?
Yeah, Krav's a special player for us. He's stolen 60 bases in a season. He's a guy who shows up all the time, working hard, trying to do his best both with the glove and with the bat. He takes pride in his outfield. Good guy. He helps us on the mound too once in a while. So Krav's the kind of player that everybody wants.
Great sliding catch by Tyler Hill in right field. That ball was hit a mile high, but he had a long way to come. And he makes a great grab. 2 down. Bases remain loaded as everyone stays put.
Third baseman number 88, Austin.
And so Austin Boylan will come to the plate. So a lot of these guys do end up getting some opportunities with the IBL clubs. How often, how much do you think that's in the mindset of these players to maybe get a chance to get a tryout or an opportunity with an IBL team at some point? Is this something that most or all of these guys are thinking about?
To be totally honest with you, I don't know if a lot of them have the desire to do the travel that's involved with the IBL. I think most players, they choose they're going to play one level or the other. There are, a few of the young guys who would relish an opportunity, I'm sure, to play in this, what we call a semi-professional league. But I think overall, the men who decide they want to play senior are looking for something a little bit closer to home and a little bit less of the commitment that's involved in a full IBL travel schedule.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you, that there isn't more player movement between the GTBL and the Intercounty Baseball League, given that a lot of these teams kind of play in the GTA in this area where there's several different ball clubs that would be possibilities for them to play with. It's a very competitive league as well, so many of these guys would be IBL ready if given the opportunity. Baycats, of course, have a 22U club this year. We'll be talking a lot more about that throughout the season, and kind of a feeder system of players that they can draw from through the year as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, off speed, and laying off it is Nolan. Good eye as he's taking all the way. So Austin Boylan up to bat for the second time today, batting with 2 out, and the bases loaded.
So, Rev, you guys open your season Wednesday night. What does this game do for you guys just 4 days ahead of it?
Yeah, it's just going to give the guys some live looks, a little bit of confidence, have obviously our new guys meet, our veteran guys and gel a little bit, and honestly, just have a little bit of fun and remember that it's summer and baseball's here.
Well, thanks for joining us, Rev. We're enjoying the game today. We know you are too, and good luck in 2025.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a 4-1 Baycat lead. We play 3 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV.
Top of the 4th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium. The Baycats lead the Thornhill Reds 4-1 in this exhibition. There's one particular player that was slated to start today at second base. Jonathan Warden taking over in the starting lineup. Branfy Infante, the franchise veteran. Matty Gale has more on him.
Yeah, well, Branfy Infante isn't in the lineup for today's exhibition game, but he's going to remain a key player for the Baycats this season. He's entering his 11th year with the team. He's the longest-serving active Baycat, and he brings the experience, especially with the junior team now. He's going to be giving them invaluable experience and leadership. He spent last season on the inactive list, but this year marks his regular action. Fans can look forward to seeing him on the field soon.
Thank you, Matty. Yeah, Branfy, a busy guy, but he always makes that extra effort to remain connected to this ball club and the community at every opportunity, even when he's not playing. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So that ground ball to Jericho Morris-Johns, the new first baseman for the Baycats. And he misplayed that ball, so I would assume that would be an error on the first baseman, Zachary Owen. Now to bat. And there's a throw down as they check on the runner. And he's back in. Anthony Silvera is the batter now for the Reds. So Hilleborn on an error. Carlos Snow on the mound for Barrie. He developed into the closer role last season. Fastball swing and a miss. Strike three. Silvera down quickly, one away.
Carlos Sano kind of started last season as, a key starter for this Barrie Baycats team, but then evolved it being into the closer. And one of the, key criticisms I had later on in the year was he wasn't really being used in those high leverage situations that you expect a closer to be in. So I was expecting him to maybe struggle a little bit in the playoffs, but he really held it down, especially in that series against the London Majors.
Yeah, they weren't really sure at the start of this season last year what Sano's role would be. They were kind of thinking fourth starter or a piggyback starter, and the closer role seemed to really suit him best. Down the line foul for a strike to Warren Kemper.
It seems like Josh Matlow is approaching this year as the same way he did last year, thinking of Carlos Sano more as a starter, especially with the big arm that he provides his team.
4-1 Baycats, top of the fourth. Kemper for the Reds. Struck out swinging to end the first. Runner goes, and it's a high fly ball to center field. Or to the second baseman. Here's a quick throw, and they double him off. Jonathan Warden making the catch, and the throw to first to complete the double play to retire Tyler Hill. 3 up, 3 down, go the Reds in the top of the fourth inning. 4-1 Barrie, you're watching Baycats TV.
No runs on no hits, 1 error, nobody left on base.
We're at Athletic Kulture Stadium, exhibition baseball between the Barrie Baycats and the Thornhill Reds. It's a 4-1 Baycats lead. Colby Edwards back out for his second inning of work. Came on in relief of starter Josh Coleman, who worked 2 innings today. Surrendered 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning, spotting Barrie to a 3-0 lead. And Lelise Beltran in a platoon today with Tyler Plumpton. He will bat here to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning.
Lelise Beltran, the guy I was talking about earlier, a guy that can really put the bat on the ball well, a guy that can spray the field very much like Ryan Rio or Nolan Macabrota, as we were mentioning earlier, the way they've shown already early on in this game. So a key bat I don't expect him to be hitting in the 8th spot when we get to the regular season, maybe number 5 guy, maybe even a number 2 spot in the order, depending on how successful he is to start the year.
Fouls it off at home plate, strike 1. I know we mentioned it earlier, but I wanted to just once again say a big thank you to everybody who came out for our Home Runs for the Hungry charity media game again this season. Julius, you and I got a chance to play in the game. Me for the first time. You played last year. I heard you weren't so hot last season,
No.
so you had a nice comeback this year.
Yeah, I had redemption on my mind right away. I went 0 for 3 in 2024. So 2025 had to be my year, and I think I really made it count.
And I started 0 for 3, and I was using Austin Boylan's bat. It was an aluminum bat, so Josh Matlow was quick to point out to me that the baseball gods don't like aluminum bats. So he switched to the wooden bat. Actually, it was yours. A nice Mizuno bat. Just felt a little bit better and got an RBI double and then another base hit after that. So I wished I had used your bat sooner.
You scored, and I scored on that double too. 'Cause I was hitting it just ahead of you in the order that day. So
it was a
kinda
lopsided
piggybacked off me.
outcome. There's a fly ball to left field. Jordan Kemp running over. The wind getting a hold of it, and he's not able to make the catch. Picks it up in deep left field. And up to second goes Lilis Beltran. It's going to be an error on the left fielder. Even though the wind got a hold of that, still a ball that he could have caught.
Yeah,
Deflected off his glove. Just couldn't put the squeeze on it.
the wind's kind of coming in. If you take a look at the flags in the right field, it's kind of coming in and swirling around a little bit. So I understand Jaden Kemp having a little bit of trouble with that ball. Just keep drifting towards that left field corner.
The wind here at Athletic Kulture Stadium historically blows in and from right to left early in the season when we still get those strong spring winds. Sometimes in the later summer months, the winds kind of calm down unless we get a stormy night here, but often it just kind of gets humid and dense. But sometimes you get a really strong breeze here in the mid to late spring months, and that was the case there on that fly ball to left field. So Beltran at second. Zachary Owen ducks out of the way of that one. Owen 0 for 1 today.
Yeah, he flew out to center his first time up, but he gave the ball a pretty good ride, and Kravis bats in center field made a nice catch on it and ended that second inning with an opportunity for his first RBI here.
Runner goes. Bounces up to the plate, and it gets behind the catcher, and up to third goes Beltran. Some heads-up base running there to take an extra 90 feet of real estate.
When you look at Lilis Beltran, just based off of his body and his shape there, you wouldn't expect him to be a base stealer, but man, he can run very well for his size.
Well, he read the pitcher beautifully and had a great jump on that pitch. So Edwards with a runner at third here, nobody out. Number 9 hitter Zachary Owen. Leadoff man Adam Odd on deck. And another one goes to the backstop. Off of the mask is Litz, and Beltran decides to hold up. The throw gets away. Now he's going to make an attempt. The throw, the tag, he's safe. Benji Litz was in a hurry to pick up that ball, made a bad throw. That forced Lilis to make an effort on that, and he came in and was able to get in for a 5-1 Baycat lead.
Yeah, I was curious about that hesitation there. I was surprised he didn't go right away on that wild pitch. But staying at third and forcing catcher Benji Litz to make a play and ended up going through the legs of Colby Edwards, and that turned into that whole play at the plate. Not to mention there's still a runner on. That wild pitch ended up being ball 4.
So back to the top of the order for Adam Odd. So the Baycats manufacturing a run on an error, a stolen base, a wild pitch. Good old school baseball here for Barrie to add to their lead. 5-1 now. Owen aboard with a walk. Odd at the plate. 1-0 pitch is inside and low.
I noticed in that last at-bat against Zachary Owen, Colby Edwards is setting up very far towards that first base side on the rubber. And it got to the point in that at-bat where his last couple pitches were way outside, and I wonder if the way he's setting up on the rubber might be the culprit.
Fastball high and in. 2-0. Well, this could possibly be his final inning of work here. It seems like each pitcher's getting a couple of innings of work here today for Nolan Revin.
There's nobody up in the bullpen.
On the ground, foul.
Yeah, we have 2 Zacharys.
3-1 the count.
One's on the junior team and Orchard's on the IVL team.
For the Baycats, we're still expecting to see Cesar Rosado, Jonathan Lazar, possibly Jonathan Warden on the mound, who started the game at second base. 5-1 Baycats, bottom of the 4th. Pitch on the way, and it's a high pop-up over the Reds' dugout, and well into foul territory. Bounces off the bleachers and rolls over to the screen.
When this game started today, when I saw Adam Odd, top of the lineup for this Baycats team, it got me really thinking. I wonder if he's maybe well suited for this position. He's a guy that, he's had him and I have talked about this. He struggled a lot early on in the 2024 season, especially with strikeout numbers, but really picked it up late.
Odd way around on that one as he rips that foul past the Baycat bullpen into the trees. Yeah, Odd has not seen a lot of action as a leadoff hitter for the Baycats, maybe on a handful of occasions, but always been more of a heart-of-the-order guy. But, of course, during those years, the Baycats with Noel McGarry-Doyle and Kenny Sejo, other guys at the top of the order to fill that role. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. And it's sliced to left center field. It drops. And it could be extra bases. Odd digging hard for two. Here comes the throw. Not in time. And the runner scores. Zachary Owen crosses home plate for the Baycats. So man in motion. Odd barrels up. Hits an RBI double. 5-1 Baycats lead.
Great bat on ball there from Adam Odd. He got a really good piece on that pitch and sliced it the other way. Definitely an extra base hit right off the bat. Maybe kind of proving me wrong. Maybe he could be a leadoff hitter if he starts to put those kind of hits together.
Well, got off to a bit of a slow start last season. No secret his struggles at the plate. As a pitching change now for Colby Edwards as he'll come off. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Thornhill Reds. We'll give you some information on him when we return. 6-1 Baycat lead here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV. Baycats lead by a score of 6-1 as Barrie comes to bat here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and 2 runs across already for the Baycats, and Joseph Handley will move from second base to pitch for the Reds.
Yeah, it'll be Tyler Romandel now at second base. But Joseph Handley, a guy pitches at Muskegon Community College, a D2 JUCO in the United States. He has a simple mitch, fastball, changeup, curveball, and has a little bit of velocity, but you're leading off against Tristan Clark, a guy who hit a home run in his last at bat, getting maybe the toughest hitter of the day right off the hop.
So Tyler Romandel batting, or number 16 at second base now. Swing and a miss by Clark. Clark with a solo home run, hit one a long way to left center field. 1 out in the third. Barrie's 4th run of this ball game. Handley on to put out the fire here. Nobody out. Swing and a miss by Clark. This inning started on a wind-blown fly ball to left field that allowed Luis Beltran to get aboard. Stole third, came in on a wild pitch. A walk to Owen. He scored on an RBI double by Adam Ott. So the Baycats really pouring it on here. 5-run lead now. And a swing and a miss by Clark, strike three. Big strikeout for Joseph Hanley.
What a way to come out. 3-pitch strikeout against a really tough hitter in Tristan Clark, like I mentioned. That, like you said, pardon me, that the ball he hit, his last at bat was a no-doubter right off the bat out of the park in left center field.
Baycats won this game 7-5 last year after trailing early 4-0. But today, putting a couple of crooked numbers up on the board early in the first half of this game. Ryan Rio has reached base twice, walked, singled, and scored.
Tyler Plumpton's on deck. No, Plumpton's going to hit after Rio. Josh just told me.
Handley checks the runner.
He just radioed.
At the belt, takes a second look, kicks and deals. High and outside. So a lot of swaps and switches in the lineup for both these clubs, being an exhibition game today. Each manager just trying to get players as much work today as they can. Rio lays off that one, works the count to 3-0. So after three straight strikes to Clark, Handley now behind Rio in the count, 3-0.
Say that again 3 times.
Three
fast.
straight strikes. It's an exhibition game for us too, partner. Unique New York. Haven't had the play-by-play chops going for a while. 3-0 pitch, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Rio.
You don't see that very often where a pitcher starts an outing with a 3-pitch strikeout and then follows it up with a 4-pitch walk. Don't see that very often, but luckily for him, now a double plays in order, and they haven't had that in a few innings.
Well, that might have been the case, thinking with that base open, just knowing how dangerous a bat Rio is, pitching him very carefully, of course. And now Rio will leave the game for a pinch runner. Joshua Tibbetts comes out, and Ryan Rio's day comes to an end with a high five from his manager, Josh Matlow. 6-1 Baycats, 2 on, 1 out. Handley's pitch. This is low and away.
He's on deck.
Yeah, he's on deck.
So this is Tyler Plumpton now batting in the number 4 spot. Plumpton in a catching platoon with Lilis Beltran today. But Plumpton had not had a plate appearance. Both plate appearances were Beltran's. So this is Plumpton's first plate appearance of the game.
The catching
Most conventional baseball rules have been put aside for this exhibition game,
absolutely.
of course.
The catching dynamic on this Baycats team might be the most interesting storyline heading into the year, because you got Tyler Plumpton, who had an incredible year offensively last year, well over 300. They also have Hayden Jaco, a guy that's proven himself as a star in this league, and Luis Beltran, an import player that was a major league prospect before coming here. So you have to wonder now if it's going to be a platoon situation or if it's going to be by preference of the starting pitcher on any given day.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds, but certainly plenty of options available for manager Josh Matlow. Jaco, one of the more versatile players on the club. As you mentioned, he can do some catching, but he played a lot of infield last year as well. 6-1 Baycats. Here's the pitch on the ground to third. It's picked up by Silvera, steps on the bag, throws it across the diamond in time. A big double play for the Thornhill Reds, and that'll do it. The Baycats scoring a pair in the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th, and it is a 6-1 Baycats lead. You're watching Baycats TV.
I'm going to move one to the Baycats in inning number 4. 2 runs on 1 hit.
Go for our tire stack race. And it's a competition, so please turn your attention to the first baseline. We've got 2 teams. One of them is John and Austin. and the other is Parker and Zav. Make some noise for these competitors this afternoon. All right. Okay, I guess they're taking off. Okay, so here's how it goes. They're grabbing a tire, bringing it back, and stacking it on for their teammate. Once all the tires are on, they take off back to their partner. Ryan Rio's getting involved. Congratulations to the winner here this afternoon for the tire stack race.
Cesar Rosado is on the mound now for the Baycats. 39.
Now pitching for the Baycats, right-hander number 39, Cesar Rosado.
Back live at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township. Exhibition baseball between the Barrie Baycats and the Thornhill Reds. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Ben Davy along with Julius Hern and Matty Gale. 6-1 Baycat lead. Cesar Rosado comes on to pitch for the Baycats here in the fifth.
Yeah, first year with the Baycats last year, and he cemented himself as a star in this league. A single-season franchise record, 105 strikeouts for Cesar Rosado. That also led the IBL as a whole.
And the ball is hit into right field for a base hit. Argenis Paz aboard to lead off the top of the fifth inning. Jaden Kemp is up to bat now for the Reds.
A 7-1 record for Cesar Rosado, 3-0 in the playoffs. The biggest thing for him to work on this year would be just getting the control down a little bit more, because the walks had been an issue from time to time. The playoffs he had 33 strikeouts and 16 walks in 20 innings.
43 walks in 66 innings, which is a little on the high side, but you pair that with 105 strikeouts, and just kind of seemed like it was all or nothing for Rosado last season. Not a lot of contact off him. He did have 3 relief appearances as well.
Because they were supposed to race each other with the tires on them.
That's a called strike. Don Michelle, the home plate umpire today. Scott Costello working the bases. 6-1 Baycat lead here in the fifth inning. Kemp waggles the bat. Rosado kicks and deals. Breaking ball, misses low. 1-2 the count. Rosado glances at the runner, works from the stretch. At the belt. And he deals. And that one misses. Count 2-2.
Yeah, it looks like a slider there from Rosado. Just got away from him a little bit. Didn't fall off the mound like he usually does, but it's an exhibition game. It very much like spring training, as we've been talking about earlier today. It's that kind of time where pitchers just start to get a feel for in-game action again, try some new things they might not necessarily use in a regular season game.
Fastball froze Kemp. He thought maybe it was high or away. Doesn't get the call, and he's down. Looking one away here. Joseph Handley now.
Second baseman number 20, Joseph Handley.
So Handley started the game at second. He is now the starting pitcher. So I guess technically the Reds lose their DH. It's position player in to pitch, but Handley was in the order anyway in the number 7 spot. I don't think they'll lose their DH though.
This is still Tyler Romandale, on correction, who came in at second base when Handley went in to pitch.
So Romandale hitting in Handley's spot.
That's correct.
Okay. Where would we be without your binoculars, Julius?
I have no idea.
I'm telling you.
I'm very lucky I brought them today.
Vision like a hawk. So Romandale batting 1 on 1 out. 0-2 the count. Rosado. Pitch on the way. and he misses low and away. Was saddened to hear this week of the passing of former Major League great Chet Lemon, who played for the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers, and maybe a familiar name if you're a Blue Jays fan from the late 80s, mid-80s. Lemon, of course, played against the Jays quite a bit and one of the game's best outfielders of the day. This one lined over second base into right field. Base hit. Rounding second is Paz. He's going to try for three. He's in with a head-first slide, no throw. So runners on the corners now. For the Reds, Cesar Rosado with one out, and Benji Litz comes to the plate.
You know, for Cesar Rosado, this isn't anything new to him at all. He faced many batters with runners in scoring position against him all year long in 2024, and he was able to get out of it. Much of that because his strikeout ability is top-notch in the IBL.
Benji Litz 0 for 1 today. Rosado now with a one-out jam, runners on the corners. Fouled back to the screen. So I'll always remember Chet Lemon for a couple reasons. First of all, he was an outstanding ball player, as good as they come defensively. But secondly, Chet Lemon was in the very first pack of baseball cards that I ever opened as a kid. Do you remember the first pack of baseball cards you ever opened?
I don't know if I've ever bought a new pack. I usually get a lot of used ones or have had a lot handed down to me.
It's kind of a lost piece of nostalgia now. And I know you can still get baseball cards.
Of course.
The Baycats have had them for their players. But for whatever reason, I just remember I was hoping for a Blue Jay, and I got two Detroit Tigers. I got Chet Lemon, and I got Jack Morris in my first ever pack of baseball cards.
What year was that?
Would have been probably 84.
World Series year.
World Series year. Ball is dropped, runner going. He's into second easily. So Romandale is at second, Paz at third. Still just one out here for Cesar Rosado.
Now, was Lemon an all-star that year or later on?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think he was an all-star even with the White Sox prior to joining the Tigers. But yeah, that championship team in '84 was so good. They played with such swagger. Lemon told one story that I can recall that '84 Tigers team was so confident that often with two outs, a fly ball would be hit to the outfield. Let's say it was hit to center. Lemon would get in position for it, and the entire defense would be in the dugout before Lemon caught the ball. And manager Sparky Anderson said, now what happens if he drops that ball? He's got nobody to throw it to. Shallow right field. It'll drop for a base hit. Another run for the Reds. Paz had to hold up just in case that ball was going to be caught, but it dropped well in front of the right fielder, James Anderson. So in to score is Paz. Reds get on the board. It's now 6-2. So it almost kind of became a game for the Detroit Tigers to try to see if they could get the entire defense off the field before the third out if the inning was caught. It's a risky game to play.
Absolutely.
I would think that if a ball was dropped even once, it would never happen again.
That's a manager's worst nightmare.
I'm actually surprised Sparky Anderson let that go on as long as he did. But you do see that. On the third out of an inning, players generally start to drift towards the dugout. And
you saunter over, do a little back pedal, you know.
I mean, if the ball was dropped, it would be an inside the park home run if you don't have anybody to throw to. Probably, you'd have to run the ball in from the outfield.
Absolutely.
Like we did when we were kids.
Or just Hail Mary it and just hope and a prayer someone's going to run back and grab it.
Great story by Chet Lemon, one of the game's great personalities, too, and he will be sadly missed.
Right fielder, number 22, Tyler Hill.
Cesar Rosado had some really nice breaking balls in that at-bat and, breaking them out against arguably the best hitter on this Reds team in Kravis Bats.
High and outside, 1-0 the count. Two outs here for Rosado. Hill with a fielder's choice, and he reached on an error. And another high fastball, 2-0 the count. Reminder, Thursday night, the Baycats began the 2025 quest for back-to-back championships. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be here. They were their first-round opponent in the 2024 postseason. And a foul tip into the glove, strike two. Runners on the corners. It's a 2-2 count with 2 out to Tyler Hill. Rosado, ready, deals, swing and a miss. Strike 3, 3 strikeouts for Rosado. Typical inning for him, but the Reds get a run. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Barrie on top comfortably, 6-2. You're watching Baycats TV. Here come the Baycats in the bottom of the 5th inning. Exhibition baseball between Thornhill and Barrie, 6-2. The Baycats lead. And up for the first time as a Barrie Baycat newcomer, Jericho Morris-Johns. 19 years old, and he is as big and as mature of a 19-year-old as I have ever met. We got a chance to talk to him during the Baycats media night here on Thursday. He looks like he's been playing in this league for a while already. Hits this one down the line. Foul ball. Love the confidence. First pitch swinging.
Yeah, the confidence is something that really appeals to me as an athlete, or, you know, Morris-Johns. We were talking about media night, and you were like shocked that he's just 19 years old.
Has that really deep voice already. Lots of confidence. A handshake that'll just swallow yours up.
And super easy to talk to. I was talking to him on the field today, and it was like we had known each other for a year or so. I just met him maybe a few weeks ago.
Very happy to be starting this 2025 season healthy after having some back issues earlier in his career, and somewhat relatable because I had some sciatic nerve problems myself off and on several years ago, and he was telling me a little bit about his recovery process, dealing with some issues with the lower back, and something that could make it awfully difficult to play baseball, never mind even just living your everyday life. But feeling good and healthy at the start here of this season. Handley's pitch, swing and a miss. So Morris-Johns is down on strikes, and Jonathan Warden now will bat. So the lineup's gotten a little bit mixed up here on both sides.
Yeah, we noticed that last inning. We're going through the lineup. We missed Mitch Sadovsky's spot in the order, but after all, it's an exhibition game. It's nothing to really bat an eyelash at because all these guys are just looking to get their at-bats in before regular season begins.
Basically, Josh Matlow added another number 5 hitter by putting Morris-Johns in ahead of Warden. Warden stays in the game, Anderson on deck, so I guess we've got a 10-man lineup now?
I guess so, because Plumpton ended the 4th inning with a 5-3 double play.
Gary Mason would be having a heart attack right now if you were here.
You know what? To be fair, in the home runs for the Hunger game last week, we were the 10 and 11 hitters on our team.
I thought we were 15 and 16 in that order. Felt like it. We got our plate appearances though, and I said the
absolutely.
broadcasters are going to carry the offense today, and we held our own. They had to get the pro wrestlers ahead of us in the order,
Of course.
right? I totally understand that. They're guests. You know,
They were the show.
Well, they were, especially the world's strongest man, Mitchell
Hooper.
Mitchell Hooper. And that one skips off the short hop. Anthony Silvera at third. Tough ball. Well, I mean, we're the ones that have to decide if that's a hit or an error.
Yeah, I would score that an error, second error of the day for.
Yeah, I would too.
For the Thornhill Reds. Yeah, I think that if.
I tend to be a little tougher on the defense than the average scorer.
I think I am too. You know, obviously it's always a judgment call. I think Silvera on that play could have waited on that ball and set himself up for a nice throw, as quick as Warden is.
So 1 on, 1 out, and James Anderson to bat, who was the number 6 hitter. I guess he's the number 7 hitter now.
6.5.
Yeah.
And batting 6.5.
Did you go to that wrestling event after the game?
I did
know
not.
a bunch of people did. I heard it was just an incredible time.
You know, I understand why people really like wrestling. It just doesn't appeal to me in that sense, but all power to them. They're great people. Barrie wrestling folks were very nice to us and were very courteous at the event.
So much fun, and pretty good baseball players too.
Yeah.
Mitchell hit a home run a couple of years ago, I was told.
Zachary Owen's going to come in and pinch run for Warden.
So does Owen lose his spot in the lineup, or?
Well, this is a move because Warden's going to be pitching soon, so he's going to be on his way to the bullpen.
The score sheet's an absolute mess. I suggest we don't even bother scoring the rest of the game. Just announce what happens.
I think he went 2 for 4.
We know James Anderson is 0 for 2. He'd love to get on base here for the Baycats.
I'm doing my best to keep this as organized as possible. Just for, I don't know, maybe just sicko sake.
Doesn't really matter until Thursday, right? Off speed, breaking pitch, a little up in the zone. Handling the third pitcher of the afternoon for the Reds. Kalman and Edwards ahead of him. 1 on, 1 out. Checks the runner. Gets the sign. Kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Anderson now with a 3-2 count. Just joining us, the Thornhill Reds, an annual tradition for the Baycats for an exhibition game before the start of the season. Back again this year, the Reds AAA Senior Club. Anderson lifts that foul to the right side.
Anderson might be 0 for 2 today, but he's put together some great swings. He only played 12 games last year, and there's a couple games where he was really the hero for the Baycats and what ended up being losing efforts, but he's going to be a great utility bat off that Baycats off the bench.
6-2 Baycats. Full count to James Anderson. Runner goes, payoff pitch, and he lines it to left field, base hit. Runner in motion. Owen will go all the way to third base. It puts runners at the corners. Zachary Owen was off with that 3-2 pitch. He's 90 feet away from scoring. Anderson gets his first hit of the game. Austin Boylan will play on the 22U club for the Baycats this year and expected to get some time with the IBL squad as well. First year Baycat. Pitch is called a strike on the inside part of the plate. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Baycats today. 2 on 5 for the Reds. Total of 5 errors in this ball game. Anderson draws a throw. He's not going anywhere. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike.
Rob? Yeah. Julius Beltran is on deck. 29 pitcher.
Joseph Handley kicks, steals, swing and a miss. Boylan couldn't catch up to it. Came at him with a high heat. Boylan is gone. Two down in the inning.
Boylan's put together some great cuts today. We saw his first at-bat. Scored it as a hit. Was thrown out at second base. Really an aggressive attempt at a double there. But he's a guy that makes hard contact whenever he gets a piece of it.
Julius Beltran, former New York Yankees prospect. Batting with 2 out and runners on the corners. Handley's first pitch to Beltran. He's taking all the way and it's high outside. Nice crowd here on this Saturday afternoon. A beautiful day for baseball. This is the kind of weather you just wish you could bottle up and bring to the ballpark with you every game.
Couldn't have asked for better timing for this weather.
Give me a whole season of these sunny and 25-degree days. Absolutely perfect. No mosquito spray needed for the 4 o'clock game. And a lot of sunblock, though.
Let's keep that going. I don't want the bugs bothering us this year.
6-2 the score. Here's the pitch. High and outside. And Handley behind, 3-0 to Julius Beltran. So Beltran, I guess, is the 9 hitter. We see Adam Odd standing in the on-deck circle, so.
I mean, I guess so. Zachary Owen did come in and pinch run and is still on third base.
4-pitch walk to Julius Beltran.
I imagine if Owen had come in to score on either the previous 2 at-bats, he would have gotten another opportunity at the plate, but we'll go back to the top of the order here.
Manager Nolan Revin out for a chat with the pitcher, third pitcher of the game, Joseph Handley, who must be getting a little bit tired out there now. Through these middle innings, struggling to get this third out now. Zachary Owen on base along with Anderson, and now Beltran and Adam Odd will step up to the plate here with the bases loaded.
Yeah, one of the Baycats junior players is in the bullpen for Thornhill, so I imagine if this might be the last batter for
the shortstop, number 26, Adam.
Yeah, I imagine this will be the last batter for Handley. Matthew Liu was in the bullpen down that left field line, so he'd be next up. A few junior Baycats are slated to pitch later on in this game, him being one of them.
Adam Odd 2 for 3 today, so a good afternoon for him so far. We mentioned earlier he was a little slow out of the gate last year, really struggled through most of the regular season before absolutely tearing it up through the playoffs. Adam Odd's batting average jumped from 185 last year to 400 in the playoffs. Talk about a turnaround.
You think about how good of a 2023 season he had as well. He was a All-IBL first team. Hit 390 with 6 home runs.
And he hits this one high to left field, pretty deep. It's got a little bit of carry to it too, and it'll hit the wall foul. The wind has died down, but it still seemed to slice a little bit down that left field line, and Odd will try it again with a 1-1 count. It just goes to show you that remarkable postseason turnaround by Adam Odd, the value of persistence, patience, grinding it out. Every player hits that slump at some point during the season, and for Odd, it just seemed to take a long time to get going, but when he did, boy, it was when it mattered most. Of course, the walk-off home run in the 12th inning of Game 1, the IBL Finals, really set the stage for that 4-game sweep and a 10-0 Baycat playoff run. The other big story we'll be talking about starting on Thursday night is the Baycats' consecutive streak of innings without trailing at the end of the inning. Consecutive completed innings of never trailing.
Yeah, I believe that was 93
I
as
had
of the end of the IBL Finals.
it was 93, and I was calling it 93, but it was pointed out to me that there were 2 innings in the end of the last regular
against
season
Brantford.
game. So we would have to count those. It was 93 playoff innings, 95 total innings. Of course, we can't count any of the innings today. I guess if we could, that streak would keep going, but we're not counting today's game. So it'll be 95 consecutive completed innings without trailing. And dunks into right field. It's a base hit. It'll score a pair of runs. Tyler Hill picks it up, fires it in. 2 more runs in for the Baycats.
Center fielder number 6, Tristan Clark.
So Owen scores, Anderson scores, Beltran to third. Adam Ott is aboard for the 3rd time today. And here comes Tristan Clark. It's an 8-2 Baycat lead. And it's just a streak that you'll never hear about, I don't think, at any level of baseball. Consecutive innings of never trailing.
Yeah,
Truly amazing.
Only 2 half innings, I guess, and they were all in game 1 of the IBL Finals. That 2nd inning leadoff home run by Garrett Takamatsu against Frank Garces, and then the top of the 10th inning later on in that one, for the Baycats coming back to tie both of those innings at the end.
Yeah, the streak was basically never trailing until that point, and then with Guelph getting runs in the top half of the inning, it kind of became a completed inning streak, which is still pretty incredible.
Well, and all that was really set up by, some incredible offensive performances. If you look back, especially that first round series against the Maple Leafs, the team averaged 16 hits a game through those 3 games.
So that streak will continue when the Maple Leafs come here on Thursday night. Down the line foul. 1-1 the count.
It's going to make me wondering how, obviously, they lost the last regular season game against the Maple Leafs, which ended their unbeaten streak against them that was well over 10 games.
So this is interesting. Zachary Owen is batting now.
Yeah, he was pinch running because Jonathan Warden's now in the bullpen.
So there's something you won't see in the regular season, a guy batting right after he scored. Runners on the corners. 2 balls and a strike. Should also mention this is the 25th anniversary season for the Baycats, so special logo, which you'll get to see when you come to the ballpark. Lots of alumni will be in and out of here throughout the season, and that's another reason to celebrate here in 2025.
We're going to have our own night for that June 12th, I think.
Sam McCoy telling me June 12th is the date to mark on your calendar for our special alumni night.
Yeah, against Brantford.
The celebrations all season long.
It's a third.
We got 25th anniversary seat cushions here,
Yeah, we did.
which is pretty nice. Two balls, 2 strikes. Handley deals. Fouled off. Pitch count on Handley must be getting pretty high. We've got a Baycat right-hander throwing in the Reds bullpen.
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. That's Matthew Liu, a pitcher that's slated to appear in the junior team roster this year. Right-hander from the GTA.
Swing and a miss. Owen down on strikes, and that will do it for the Baycats here at inning number 5. Julius Hern on the mic to call innings 6 and 7. When we return, it's a Baycat lead of 8-2 on Baycats TV.
I'm gonna do Rio.
Now batting for the Thornhill Reds, number 35.
Top of the sixth inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium. The Baycats in this exhibition matchup lead the Thornhill Reds 8-2. A key part of this Baycats team for many years, not just this championship in 2024, but 3 in the previous regime of this franchise. Ryan Rio is back for yet another year, the Baycats star. Played earlier in this game, but has since been taken out. It's just a ground ball to short. Adam Odd scoops it up, and Jacob Hillier is thrown out. One down. Maddie Gale, what do you have on Ryan Rio?
I mean, Ryan Rio's been a standout for the Baycats. In 2023, he set a new single-season franchise record with 48 RBIs and led the team in home runs. He's a key part of Barrie's lineup. Rio's also a fan favorite. As the Baycats look to build on last season, Rio's bat will continue to be a major factor.
Thank you, Maddie. Christian Lazar, the lefty, on the mound for the Baycats now. Former IBL Pitcher of the Year, was still recovering a little bit last year from a torn labrum. That one popped up on the infield. Jericho Morris-Johnson, foul territory, makes the catch. Nice play there, getting out Warren Kember, now 2 down. Quick couple outs for Christian Lazar, a guy that we were talking to on Thursday for media availability, and he was saying that he very much now understands his role. He said that last year he was very much set on trying to become a starting pitcher again after his injury, but now understands that he's best suited now just to go 1 or 2 innings, 3 at the most. So it's great to see him back on the mound and feeling as healthy as he has been in quite some time. Check swing, did he go? 1-1 count here. On the ground to third, Boylan has to go back on it, sets his feet, throws, and a great throw to Morris-Johns at first base. A quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Christian Lazar. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Baycats still leading by a score of 8-2. You are watching Baycats TV. Bottom of the 6th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium. 8-2 Baycats over the Thornhill Reds. And as we mentioned earlier, some of the junior Baycats on the new 22U team in Barrie are going to be taking a few innings from the Thornhill Reds pitchers, just getting that little bit of extra experience. And this time, to start off here at the bottom of the 6th, it's Matthew Liu, right-hander from Richmond Hill, a commit to Ripon College D3 school in the United States, and just like we saw earlier with Colby Edwards, first batter he's going to face is Tristan Clark. Homered earlier in this game, takes the first pitch inside.
Rob, at the end of this full inning, we're going to do the dizzy bats.
Josh Tibbetts on deck. This would be his first at-bat of the game. That second pitch goes way outside and back to the screen. So 1-1 count. Scoreboard says 3-1.
I really, I don't care about that right now. I'll be honest with you.
1-1 pitch from Lou. That one's up high. Lou's delivery very much over the top. It's something I noticed in winter workouts this year.
Josh Tibbetts is on deck, number 40.
Another one pitched. Very similar location. That one called a strike. It's 2-2.
Get that, Rob? Tibbetts on deck.
Working quickly in his delivery. 2-2 pitch to Clark. That's a deep fly ball. Left field, and it is gone. Tristan Clark, his second home run of the day, another no-doubter. And that'll be 4 straight innings with a Baycat run. It's 9-2.
At back for the Baycats, number 40, Josh Tibbetts.
Now steps in Josh Tibbetts. He pinch ran for Ryan Rio earlier in the game after a fourth inning walk. Takes a first pitch strike. Was on the IBL Baycats just a couple of years ago. Was being used a little bit as a two-way player, but didn't have all that much success at the plate. Takes another pitch inside. 1-1 pitch from Lou. Another one inside. That one has a little bit of breaking movement on it. Tibbetts had played 17 games in 2023 with the Baycats. Went just 4 for 26. That's a 154 average. Swings and misses at that one.
Yeah, they fixed it. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
2-1 the count on Josh Tibbetts. Another one outside, 3-1. Pardon me, make that a full count. Jericho Morris-Johns on deck. Lou pitching out of the windup, the 3-2. Just outside, Tibbetts works a walk. Risky take, but it pays off for him. So runner on first here with the big man, Jericho Morris-Johns, coming up.
One thing I noticed about Tibbetts, Julius, is how much weight he's lost over the last couple of years. He's definitely leaner. That'll get him around the bases a lot quicker, I'm sure, and a little bit of room to run out there now. Let's see if he decides to swipe one at some point here.
He's very active on the base path, especially just on that lead that he took there on that first pitch. Tibbetts a commit to Point Park University, a junior college in Pittsburgh. I have to imagine that playing there over the last couple of years is definitely helping him stay in better shape. There's a deep fly ball, left center field. Could this be another one? At the track, at the wall, it is gone. Jericho Morris-Johns follows up Tristan Clark's earlier bomb. 3 runs in the inning, it's 11-2.
Year after year after year, it seems like new additions to the Baycats come through huge. Last year, the likes of Nolan Macabrota, oohed and awed fans here at the ballpark. This year, looks like it could be Tristan Clark and Jericho Morris-Johns, the next name that you're going to get used to hearing, I think, quite a bit here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
There's definitely always that possibility, those junior players of getting called up to the big IBL club. It feels inevitable for some, and I think you can definitely add Jericho Morris-Johns to that list as we see a mound visit here from Nolan Revan. Don't see that very often with the opposing manager doing a mound visit for his pitcher who doesn't play for his team.
What kind of advice do you think he's giving them?
I know, right?
They don't play in the same league. That must seem a little weird. I mean, it's confusing for us. Imagine how confusing it is for them. You got the opposing manager coming out and talking to you, but such is the case today, just to sort of even out the rosters a bit.
Another fly ball to left field. This one will stay in the ballpark. Jaden Kemp makes the catch, and Will Jackson's retired.
I mentioned earlier that I have a Cincinnati Reds jersey that I almost wore today. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have brought it anyways because Lou could wear that out on the mound. It wouldn't look quite as, it wouldn't fit in perfectly with the Thornhill Reds jersey, but it would be close enough. It would be the right colors at least, right?
Do you have a name and number on the back?
No.
No, just blank?
No, it's no name or number on the back. It's just red.
Hard hit ball, diving stab there by Silvera, but he won't make the throw in time. Anderson will reach on an infield single. So 3 hits in the inning, 2 of them long bombs. And that'll put a runner on for Austin Boylan, who's 1 for 3.
Nothing for Silvera to hang his head about there. That was a great effort on a hot shot, the hot corner. Did a great job to glove it. Just couldn't get the throw over in time.
Boylan fouls that back to the screen.
So yeah, the jersey I have is a solid red, so it's, I guess, the alternate Reds jersey. Doesn't have any black on it, but
How new?
I've had it for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, yeah. Actually picked it up. I didn't get it in Cincinnati. I always like to get a hat or a jersey from the ballparks that I visit, but I found this Reds jersey somewhere around here. I can't even remember where it was. It was like a liquidation store or something like that. I'm like, oh, Cincinnati Reds. I'm going to that ballpark this year. I just went ahead and picked it up.
You said you're going there this year?
No, I got that jersey like 5 years ago when we went to Great American Ballpark. I guess it was 2019. It was right before COVID. So, but beautiful ballpark, by the way. Cincinnati, definitely put that on your list of parks to get to.
Among the smallest in Major League Baseball as Boylan goes down swinging the 3rd time today. He struck out swinging. Now 2 down in the inning. It's got to be a confidence booster there for Matthew Liu after the 2 home runs allowed in this inning.
Yeah, and a tough day at the plate for Boylan, but he knows it's just an exhibition game, chance for him to get some swings in. Good chance we'll see him contribute to the big club at some point.
Still just a feeling out process. First live game action for many of these players this year. Junior team and IBL team. As Luis Beltran will step in. James Anderson on first. That was the hit earlier this inning, his 2nd of the day.
When I went to Cincinnati to watch the Reds, I was surprised how chill and how laid back the fans were. They have their opening day crowds are legendary. Apparently, they have like this streak of opening day sellouts where the whole city shuts down. I think they do everything short of
It's a holiday there. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that has their opening day at home every year.
Everything short of a parade on opening day. But the regular season games, the crowds are a little more relaxed. They just sort of sit back, take in the game, enjoy it. Not a very intense crowd.
Did you see that earlier this year, the water level in the Ohio River was so high it was almost at the concourse of the stadium, as this one's driven a deep right field back at the track. And unable to make the play is Tyler Hill. Beltran rounds first. Anderson's going to come in to score. It's a stand-up double for Beltran. Tough play in right field for Tyler Hill considering all the shadows in right. But 3rd extra base hit, 4th total of the inning for the Baycats. It's 12-2.
Yeah, the shadows in right field, not only that, but he lost his footing. It looked like his left foot buckled a little bit. He's okay out there, but I'm not sure if it was before or after the ball got by him, but he seemed to lose his footing out there just on the grass a couple feet in front of the warning track. Definitely would love to have that one back. Wind is a bit of a factor here still, too, blowing from right to left. So you mentioned the Ohio River. Yeah, it does get awfully high. Kentucky, of course, is right on the other side. And apparently, Adam Dunn, I think, I'll have to look this, or it might be LaRoche, one of those guys, is the only player to hit a home run ball from one state that landed in another state, or ended up in another state, because the river is technically Kentucky. So he hit the ball, and it bounced into the river somehow, and like the ball ended up in Kentucky. So he hit it from one state to another.
Ripped up the middle. 2nd baseman Tyler Romandel with the play on to first. That'll end the inning. But the Baycats put up their 4th multi-run inning of the game, 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. When they take a 10-run lead as we head to the 7th inning. We'll be back right here on Baycats TV. Top of the 7th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's now a 10-run lead for the Barrie Baycats in this exhibition contest against the Thornhill Reds. 12-2 as we enter the top of the 7th. And it'll be Jason Roach, another junior Baycat, taking the mound for the Barrie Baycats after Chris Lazar's quick 3-up, 3-down.
Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. Great road trip. I would highly recommend the Louisville Slugger Bat Museum as well, which is in Louisville, just 2.5 hours maybe from Cincinnati. Work that into your trip and be a great fun baseball road trip.
Jaden Kemp facing a 2-2 count against Jason Roach, an Evansville University commit, a team that made a really nice run to the Super Regionals in the NCAA tournament last year. So he'll be joining a very solid mid-major program.
Apologize to our audience for a technical issue where we were offline for a few minutes.
Just want to apologize to our audience. We're off live there for a few minutes, but we are back live on Baycats TV.
All right, which stories do we need to retell here? They probably missed all the good stuff. They probably missed the best part of the broadcast, to be honest with you.
They might have. So ball 4 called on the ball getting to the screen. Jaden Kemp will be the beneficiary of a leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. It is 12-2 Baycats as Tyler Romandel will step in.
Christian Lazar only worked 1 inning today, but we were talking to him during the Baycats media night on Thursday, and he was telling us how excited he was just given his physical condition at the start of this year as opposed to a year ago when he was still kind of recovering and rehabbing, and feels a lot better this year. And the other thing I was doing was just for fun, just asking a lot of these guys for their World Series predictions. And I really like Christian Lazar's. He had a Tigers-Padres World Series this year. That's a good one, and that could happen.
And immediately what came to mind for both of us was, hey, that's a 1984 matchup. And we were talking about that earlier with regarding the passing of Chet Lemon.
Yep. Yeah, though that'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You know, Padres haven't seen a World Series World Series play since 1998.
I think the Yankees beat them, if I recall.
Yeah, they swept them.
Yeah, they had a good club there at the end of the 90s.
Yeah, the Tigers last was they got swept by the Giants in 2012, if I recall.
Yeah, there's nothing like baseball in Motown when that team is playing well and that crowd is roaring.
You saw it in the playoffs last year, first time they made it since 2015.
Just a taste of, I think, what that baseball could be like in that city if they actually get back to the World Series, which would just be incredible. They lost to the Cardinals in 06. Yeah, if I remember correctly, but had there were a couple of really big moments in that World Series. I just remember how electric that crowd was.
Justin Verlander's rookie year. He's a big reason why they got as far as they did. That was their first playoff appearance in almost 30 years, or almost 20 years, pardon me. Two here on Romandel. Kemp on first.
Time called here, not sure why. Home plate umpire Don Michelle having a quick word with a Baycat pitcher. This game now just a little over 2 hours.
Decent pace with considering no pitch clock in IBL play. You want your games to hover around 3 hours. I think you're hitting the spot today, even with a 12-2 scoreline. 12 runs on 13 hits for the Baycats, 2 on 5 for the Reds. Pitch from Roach is down low, counts full.
A very long delay before that last pitch by Roach. We'll see if that interrupts his rhythm a little bit here. And again, I'm not sure what the delay was, but it's something the umpire wanted to talk to him about.
We come set here. Runner on first is Jaden Kemp. Doesn't go. The pitch is slashed out to right field, drifting foul, and it will land foul out rolling towards the Baycats bullpen. So we'll settle back in for a full count pitch to Tyler Romandel. Singled 2 innings ago, stranded at third after a stolen base. Came in to play second base when Joseph Handley went to warm up and later pitched in this ball game. Another 3-2 pitch from Roach. Called strike 3. Got him at the bottom of the zone. That's the first out of the inning.
Nice job of pitching by Roach. Spotted that one exactly where he wanted it, and it just froze Normandale.
Designated hitter number 23.
Unable to pull the trigger, and a big first out here for Roach.
So I'll bring up Mitch Sadovsky, who skipped his previous at-bat. Struck out in the third inning. Was one of 3 consecutive strikeout victims of Frank Garces, who pitched what we think was a 10-pitch third inning. It was nearly immaculate.
Yeah, short work for Garces today, as well as Sano, Rosado. Benitez worked 2 innings to start. Lazar with an inning, so everybody just kind of getting a quick cup of coffee here today. And Jason Roach now, as Baycat fans get their first look at him.
The other guy, in terms of arms, that you might expect to be up with the big club later this season, but he'll start the year on the junior side.
Lots of options for manager Josh Matlow, who is one of the best in the biz in terms of managing a pitching staff, which isn't always an easy task. Personally, I thought overlooking Josh Matlow as manager of the year was a terrible oversight. No disrespect to the winner, Dino Ramel, but the way Josh has built this club and this team has improved year over year, it's hard to overlook the accomplishments. And to me, he really deserved it.
Well, it seems like last year we saw this, but this year more so than ever, a surplus of talent on this Baycats roster, now considering there's 2 different team rosters to kind of pull from.
Baycats' win percentage has increased for 3 straight years. Last year, 27-15. Well, and Jackfish taking the pennant last year, but the Baycats winning the championship, which is what everybody's gunning for.
Swing and a miss by Sadovsky. Down now 1-2. If you look at this point in the game, the way they were last year, leading after 6 innings, the Baycats were 22-3 in the regular season in 2024.
After 6 innings.
Leading after 6 innings.
An incredible stat.
Called strike 3 again. Back-to-back Ks looking to the benefit of Jason Roach, now 2 down.
And the interesting thing is that 22-3 stat that you just quoted there is somewhat surprising, because as I think back, it was often the Baycats bullpen that seemed to be the biggest question mark a lot of nights. We knew the starting pitching was the best in the league, and a lot of times it seemed like the Baycats relievers struggled in those middle to late innings, but maybe it was more so the middle innings. But the starting pitching was so good that I think that really helped bridge that gap in the bullpen that might have been there some nights.
Tied after 6 innings, the Baycats were 2-4. Leading after 7 as well, 22-3, so same record, leading after 6 and 7.
So just getting on top after 6 innings, really making that incredible difference in those numbers that you cited.
One here to Kravis Bass, the leadoff hitter for the Reds, and a big cut and a miss. Jason Roach a strike away from Kang the side.
Absolutely love Kravis Batts. He's just such a versatile player, true, pure athlete, playoff MVP.
Well, he's 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts, reached on an error. That one just inside. Kemp doesn't go to second. 3 games played coming in today for Kravis Batts against the Baycats. Came in 3-10 with 3 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, and an RBI. But 3 strikeouts as well over those 3 games, so on the verge of matching that total just in this one as he works to count full.
Have to think that he's more likely than not one of the more feared hitters in the Greater Toronto Baseball League.
Absolutely.
Regularly hits 300 or better.
3-2, 2 out. Pitch from Roach. Another called strike 3. 3 strikeouts looking. And Jason Roach with a very great performance here in the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom half. 7th inning stretch time. 12-2 Baycats. You're watching Baycats TV. 12-2 Baycats as we come out of the 7th inning stretch. This exhibition contest against the Thornhill Reds, and it's, as we've been talking about throughout this game, the lineup and the scorebook is all scrambled. So we'll have Tyler Plumpton lead off this inning, then we'll get right back to the regular order.
We're sending your score sheet straight to the officials at Point Streak and asking them to evaluate it.
Please interpret.
And give you a grade. Hey, umpires get report cards. I wonder if official scorers get report carded.
That's a good thought. Well, the new pitcher in the ballgame is Ty McGurk, another junior Baycat, taking an inning of work from the Thornhill Reds. He's facing Tyler Plumpton to start. McGurk's a very interesting story. He's just 17 years old, but he's pitching into the low 90s at such a young age. No-brainer for Josh Matlow to bring this kid along.
Pretty good when you get your own pitchers some action on the other team. This happened a couple of times for Josh Matlow today. What an inning by Jason Roach. I have to think we're going to be seeing him again at some point.
I would think so, too.
So McGurk making his first appearance in front of these fans in Barrie on a suddenly chilly Saturday afternoon. Welcome to May Baseball. Temperature has dropped 7 degrees since our first pitch. We were at 25 when this game began. 18 now. Still nice. Can't complain. But
I can't complain at all.
that heat disappeared pretty quick. It's a bit of a chilly breeze now blowing in from the west.
Feels like it's probably going to be what this is right now, Thursday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
When the game starts.
Yes.
And have your hoodie ready for the last 3 innings.
Big cut and a miss from Tyler Plumpton on a 3-1 pitch. That'll bring the count full.
Yeah, the Thursday night games are great if you burn in the sun like I do. And then we got a full lineup of Saturday games this year. Only one Sunday game, I believe.
On the ground, Paz scoops it up. The throw on to first is in plenty of time to retire Plumpton. That is the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
Plumpton having some fun with first base up. Scott Costello arguing that he was safe.
So now just to figure out how I can write that into my scorebook, because Plumpton was originally came in to hit for Nolan Macabrota. But now we're back to the top of the order. From the 4 spot to the 1 spot, it's Adam Ott.
All I know is Zachary Owen started in the number 9 spot, and I don't know where he is now.
McGurk facing Adam on a 0-1 count. Tristan Clark on deck. 2 homers on the day for him. Adam on sees that one inside.
I want to mention some news, some IBL news here, not related to the Baycats or the Reds, but a historic game is going to happen on Sunday, tomorrow, at Christie Pitts. Want to check this out on Mother's Day? The first female to play in the IBL. Her name is Ayami Soto, and she will be the opening day starter for the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow afternoon at Christie Pitts. What a way to celebrate Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
If your mom loves baseball, take her to that game. My goodness, that's IBL history, and I wish I could be there to see it, but I'll definitely be watching that moment of history on their YouTube broadcast.
There's a fly ball out to right field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Hill didn't get a sight on the ball off the bat. It'll drift foul towards and land there near the Baycats bullpen. So now 2-2. That's definitely going to be interesting, Ben. I'll be tuned in for that. I imagine because she's starting opening day, she won't be starting against the Baycats, the Baycats home opener on Thursday, so we'll see a different matchup, maybe one the Baycats are a bit more familiar with. Will Hennis Alvarado potentially. We'll see. A 2-2 pitch to Ott is inside.
Yeah, it's not often we promote non-Baycats games on this broadcast, but that one we definitely will. It's Kitchener and Toronto tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. at Christie Pitts. You talk about a ball club going through quite a transformation. Toronto, definitely some new faces and parting ways with some familiar names as well. Be interesting to see how Rob Butler puts that whole lineup together.
Line drive out to right field. It'll land fair. Hill going over to scoop it up near the right field line. So for Adam Ott, that's his 3rd hit of the day. That'll put one on for Tristan Clark, who, like we mentioned earlier, has taken advantage of the long ball today, 2 home runs, 2 for 4 day. He's a big reason why the Baycats are up by so much. 12-2 ball game here.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Tristan Clark, 2 home runs already today. What an afternoon it would be if he can park another one here.
Takes the first pitch strike. Tristan Clark, formerly of University of New Orleans, a Division I program in the Southland Conference, and even in his only year there, hit almost 300 with 12 home runs. It takes another strike. McGurk really working the velocity on the former pro.
Not easy to replace the likes of Canisijo and Noel McGarry-Doyle. Very different ball players than Clark. Clark with a lot of power like you've seen here today, but I would expect he's going to be in the lineup as often as possible for Josh Matlow this season.
An 0-2 count. You definitely wouldn't think that was obviously not intentional, but
not going to hit your own teammate.
Exactly, but in any other game,
maybe you would.
In any other game, you might question that a little bit, but looks like Tristan Clark might stand in again. They'll just call that one a ball.
They'll just let him have another one. I love it. Love exhibition games.
Rob, just don't announce.
Could you imagine if spring training was like this?
Well, they're taking even more liberties here today than we took during the media game. You remember there were a couple people that wanted like 4 or 5 strikes, and we're like, no, we're playing baseball here. I mean, we'll make a couple of exceptions here and there, but for the most part, 3 strikes and you're out.
Makes me think of Albert Bell in the 90s. It's like ball 4, no, I want to hit again.
Yeah.
And a cut and a miss from Clark.
I was so hoping he'd hit a home run.
Didn't take his base, ends up striking out swinging. So now 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th, bring up Josh Tibbetts.
Imagine hitting a home run after getting hit by a pitch in the same at bat. That would probably be historic as well.
So for Clark on the day, 5 at-bats, 2 for 5 with 2 homers and 3 strikeouts. Now Josh Tibbetts takes the first pitch inside.
Tibbetts has had a couple of cups of coffee with the Baycats. He'd definitely like to stretch it out to some regular playing time throughout the course of the season.
Outside, it's 1-1.
The 22U Baycats have, I think, 6 or 7 games here at home. And
16 games, 12 home games.
12 home games, I'm told.
Couple doubleheaders.
Okay, yes, a couple of doubleheaders, so.
So 16 games, 12 dates.
Yeah,
Good chance to watch some of these young players and future Baycats, perhaps.
Absolutely, and we're only about 3 weeks away from their opener, so great to see them get some game action early enough before their first game. They're not playing in a loop or league necessarily, so fully exhibition schedule, but their statistics will be tracked throughout the year. Playing a lot of IBL affiliate clubs, like the home opener is against the Hamilton Junior Cardinals. So similar circumstance, we'll see some maybe potential Hamilton Cardinals in the big club potentially this year. People getting called up from the Junior Cardinals as Tibbetts skies that one foul out of play. Two here for Ty McGurk against who is going to be his teammate, Josh Tibbetts. High and away.
That line is crazy.
If you're McGurk, you just want to end the inning here quickly. Finish Tibbetts off here with this 3-2 count. Come right at him with whatever stuff you've got.
Baycats have scored in each of the last 4 innings. They've been held scoreless so far in this one. Runner goes, and a cut and a miss from Tibbetts. He goes down swinging. So Baycats go down the bottom of the 7th. We'll go to the top of the 8th. Ben Davy back on the mic to call it for you right here on Baycats TV.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern along with Matty Gale. We are at Athletic Kulture Stadium, the newly named home of the Barrie Baycats. Same ballpark they've played in for 25 years, but a new name on the stadium, and we're excited about our new partnership with a great organization as we get things going here for 2025 with this exhibition matchup between the Barrie Baycats and the Thornhill Reds.
Yeah, very much look forward to meeting the Athletic Kulture folks here on Thursday night. Season opener for the Baycats against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
12-2 Barrie here in the 8th inning. Jason Roach back out to pitch for the Baycats against the Reds. 12 runs on 14 hits for Barrie today. 2 runs, only 5 hits for the Reds. Swing and a miss. This is Tyler Hill to lead off the 8th for Thornhill.
Well, after a leadoff walk in the 7th, it seemed like Roach might lose his rhythm right away, but he came back and struck out the next 3 batters while looking.
Broken bat, hit weakly, and it's in that Bermuda Triangle. The underhand toss, not in time. It landed in no man's land between the pitcher, the first baseman, and the second baseman. And how often do you see that happen? Pretty tough to make a play on that part of the infield.
Hit it in the perfect spot. I mean, obviously he wasn't trying to do that, broke his bat on the play. But for Tyler Hill, he hadn't had a hit all game. He'd only reached on an error once in the 4th. So to get that, it's got to be a huge confidence boost for him.
Should we call that an error?
No, that is an infield hit.
I'm joking.
That is totally an infield hit. I will say I have been keeping track of the totals at least, all as scrambled as the scorebook is.
Well, we have 5 errors in the ballgame so far. I figured 1 out of 6.
Yeah.
Runner goes and then falls. And the ball was dropped by Tyler Plumpton anyways. Runner retreats. So Hill at first. Nobody out. Thornhill down by 10.
Yeah, that's the 5th hit of the game for the Baycats. Excuse me, for the Reds. Baycats have 15.
Roach from the stretch. Kicks and deals. Foul ball. 1-1 the count. Baycats beat the Reds 7-5 last year, overcoming a 4-0 deficit. In that game, the Reds have not led in this one other than the top half of the 1st inning when they scratched out a run on starter Juan Benitez.
The Baycats had a 6-run inning late in last year's exhibition game.
Fouled off to the right side. Souvenir for the kids. A lot of kids here today running after that baseball. A free game here at the ballpark for these fans who came out to enjoy this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Don't forget, opening night, Thursday against Toronto. Tickets available at barriebaycats.com. Check out the Baycats as they start their quest for the repeating back-to-back champions. No balls, 2 strikes. Roach, the look at the runner. Comes set. Hill takes the lead. Does not go. The pitch. Called strike 3. Inside corner. Roach gets him, 1 down.
So now all 3 outs on the part of Jason Roach by way of strikeout. So if you're Josh Matlow watching this performance right now, it is exhibition, but the way he's been able to dice up the Reds lineup has got to be very appealing.
First pitch strike. So Hillier down on strikes. Roach with an 0-1 count. Kicks and deals. Breaking ball for a strike. 0-2.
Just the velocity coming down on that breaking ball is so hard to see in the batter's box, especially when, Jason Roach, a guy that's about 6'4".
This one hit to right field, and a running catch is made by James Anderson. Fires it in. Hill goes back to first. 2 away.
That's a tough catch for James Anderson. He looked like he was on his way to overrunning that baseball. Had to make a basket catch near his waist. But the guy is experienced in a variety of positions as he is. Made it look easy.
Any ball hit in front of you, you're going to have less time than you think with the wind blowing in as it is right now. Making a catch like that even a little trickier than it would be if the winds were calm on a normal day here at the ballpark. This is Warren Kemper. Roach's pitch, outside corner for a strike. 2 out here, we're at the top of the 8th.
Yeah, Kemper already a couple hits on the day, 2 for 3, a run scored.
Kravis bats and Argenis Paz, the only 2 runs scored for Thornhill here this afternoon. You know they'd love to add to that run total before heading home this afternoon. 12-2 Barrie.
Kemper's a guy that's very fit to extend this inning for them. Came into this game with 2 hits against the Baycats already.
And he does just that with a ball hit to right field. Anderson bobbles it. The runners will stay put as he recovers quickly. So 2 on now for Thornhill. And a chance to make a little bit of noise here in the top of the 8th inning.
Left fielder number 38, Jaden Kemp.
Jaden Kemp, the left fielder. Takes a look around the defense as he settles into the batter's box.
That was a 3rd hit of the day for Paz. Pardon me, it wasn't Kemper. Kemper lined out earlier.
Runners stay put as that ball bounces up, plumped in with a nice block.
Best performance that Paz has had in his career with the Reds against the Baycats. Previous 3 games went a combined 1 for 12.
Swing and a miss by Kemp. One ball, 1 strike. So Roach being tested here in this 8th inning after a fairly straightforward 7th. Off speed and has fell back to the screen.
Well, he made the 7th inning look like fairy dust and rainbows, so to get a little bit of adversity here is definitely going to be beneficial for him when the season starts.
One ball, 2 strikes. And that one goes back to the screen.
Runners rounding. Tyler Hill really came into that thinking maybe he was going to try and stretch that into an extra run here. Went into the third base aggressively with a big turn.
2 in scoring position. 2-2 count and 2 away. Roach needs a strikeout here. And now time is called. And it's a balk. And the runner will come in to score. So it's a 12-3 ball game. Tyler Hill comes in on the balk. Runner at third now. Roach looks in. And he deals. Inside for a ball, and the count is full.
Another breaking ball there, trying to get Kemp looking on the 2-strike count. A little bit of that arm side movement.
3 balls, 2 strikes, says Don Michelle. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, the inning continues. A little bit of action in the Baycat bullpen now, but Josh Matlow would obviously prefer for Roach to finish this inning.
Second baseman number 16, Tyler Romando.
Looks like Jonathan Warden throwing in the Baycats bullpen. He was slated to pitch in one of these later innings. Originally started at second base in the place of Branfi Infante, who was seemingly just before the game couldn't go.
Tyler Romandel with a check swing. It's a strike, 0-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Roach to Romandel. And the count is 1-1. couple of Baycats we haven't mentioned yet who aren't here today. Brandon Hernandez, who, of course, was a huge acquisition for the Baycats, shortstop last season, and his brother, Francisco, will be on this team as well as the team's second baseman.
Yep, his older brother, another former pro. Both of them were in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. A little bit of overlap there in both of their careers.
Brandon hit .533, 21 RBIs in the playoffs over 10 games. Strike three, and Roach and the Baycats are off the field. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Reds get a run, but they trail 12-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching Baycats TV. Baycats Reds at Athletic Kulture Stadium, exhibition baseball. Ben Davy along with Julius Hern. And our newest addition to our team, our sideline reporter, Maddie Gale, has done a great job with her between innings reports for us, and we look forward to having her this season. So big on-field signings and off-field signings too, you'll notice on the broadcast this year.
This team is growing on and off the field, that's for sure.
We had a fun time here on Thursday for media night. A lot of fans came out for that as well. A good chance to see these players. For some of them, their first opportunity seeing these players since winning the championship last September in Guelph.
And still a lot of guys that have yet to arrive in Barrie that will be here for opening night. So still even lots to look forward to after today.
We had a really nice victory party here at the ballpark about a week or so after the championship, and that was a fun celebration. And then we had a fun night in December with the premiere of the Baycats documentary that you worked on along with Dylan Quinn, Diamonds in the Rough, the premiere of that at the 5 Points Theater in Barrie, and there were a lot of fans out to see that as well. If you didn't see it, it's on YouTube right now, I believe. So
yeah, it just got posted last week or so.
I think it's the extended version as well, so you might see a little bit of extra stuff, content that you didn't see at the premiere. What a season. The 2024 IBL champion Barrie Baycats. And Jericho Morris-Johns hits it weakly to first. And an easy first out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, now we'll bring up Tyler Plumpton. And Plumpton's spot was taken over by Jericho Morris-Johns. So now it's a whole scramble today, Ben.
I'm surprised you're even still trying to figure it out.
It's a puzzle.
At some point, they're going to call you and I to come up to the plate.
It's hard to drag me away from a puzzle. I have to figure it out.
Well, you and I were the perfect number 13 and 14 hitters for our media team at the Home Runs for the Hungry event. Bottom of the order coming through. Every winning team needs that bottom of the order production, right?
Exactly. Right before we started that game, Jeremy Eulenbrook, who is managing the 22U team this year, but will still be the first base coach for the Baycats, was our quote-unquote manager. And he comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you good with ground balls? Like, can you make that work?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Like, I used to play baseball." It's like, "Okay, you're gonna be our starting shortstop." I'm like, "All right, sure. I haven't played shortstop since high school."
Right back up the middle. Nice play by the diving second baseman. No chance for a throw, though. It gets by him. Plumpton is aboard with a hit. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yeah, you had a couple of balls hit to you right away. I was in the outfield. I played left field and then right field and moved to center. I didn't have a single ball hit to me all afternoon. It was amazing. I'm like, this is great.
I made a double play later in that game, which I was very proud of. And then I ended up throwing James Anderson out at the plate on a cutoff. He hit a ball, an absolute screamer to the wall and left. And Dana Roberts from CTV was our left fielder who managed to hit me as the cutoff man. And then I threw it to Lilise Beltran, who was playing catcher at the time.
Absolutely perfect.
And I talked to him about it yesterday, or 2 days ago. He's on deck right now. He said that he absolutely wasn't expecting it. He thought he had the plate no problem. And he was astounded. He was like, "Where'd that come from?"
You ruined his moment.
I did.
Now he's going to have to do it on the field in the regular season. So it's called Home Runs for the Hungry. I guess you got the only home run of the afternoon, technically.
Guess so.
You had the inside the park home run and you took one away.
Maybe I shouldn't have taken it away. No, it was a fantastic event. I was very happy to be part of it for the second year in a row.
Well, because it was a fundraiser, there was an admission price to the ticket. It was $15, which is not bad at all for a big fundraiser like that. But it did put a little bit of pressure on us as players. I was, mindful of the fact that these fans are paying more to watch us than the actual Baycats during the regular season. So we better produce something of quality out there on the field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 12-3 Barrie. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Called strike. Good pitch by McGurk. One Baycat rings up another. And here comes the aforementioned James Anderson.
It's Will Jackson's day. Most likely ends 0 for 3 with a strikeout, reached on an error and scored in the 5th. James Anderson's had a pretty good day. 2 for 4 with a strikeout, 2 singles, and a couple runs scored. Like I mentioned earlier, he only played 12 games last year, but coming off the bench for some clutch hits late in the season.
Yeah, and that's not easy when you're in and out of the lineup. A lot of these players have off-field commitments too that limit their availability. So, they love to get in there and play whenever they can, but it's not always easy to get into that rhythm that the everyday players can get into. Yeah, there's a strike.
He's 8 for 28 across 12 games in the regular season last year, 4 RBI.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McGurk's pitch. Just missed off the plate, and the at-bat will continue.
Anderson was very confident that pitch was outside. It looked like a very close take, but he kind of saw it right out of McGurk's hand that was going to be outside.
The at-bat will continue. Righty-righty matchup here. Pitch for McGurk, and it's a pop-up over our heads. Still about 40 or 50 people left here at the ballpark, which is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the free baseball.
Exhibition game. Temperatures dropped here. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, but you can expect a big crowd here on Thursday night for the season opener when these fans welcome back their reigning champions.
Really just planting the seed of what's to come on Thursday. So here's the introduction. Now we'll get the real thing in a few days, and it's going to be magnificent. The on-field ceremony before the game.
When you think about how deep this lineup is for the Baycats, getting Nolan Macabrota back, that obviously a Huge news for Baycats
Absolutely.
fans this week. And what we've seen from Tristan Clark here this afternoon kind of eases the pain of Noel McGarry-Doyle and Canisijo not being here at the start of the year. You get a guy who looks like he's ready to play right away, center fielder Tristan Clark. Willie Garcia, who we haven't even seen yet, will be joining this club as well. Anderson draws a walk. What an at-bat. You mentioned that 0-2 pitch that he took on the outside, just off the outside part of the plate, and that totally changed the course of the at-bat. These guys compete even in a 12-3 game. No one's going down easy.
Exactly.
Here's a guy who'd love a hit, Austin Boylan.
Had one earlier in the game, but was thrown out at second base from the right fielder, Tyler Hill.
The fans really gave him a nice hand, too. They appreciated his effort. Hard hit ball. He thought he could stretch 2 out of it. But a strong throw beat him.
It seems like in the lead up to this season, especially with the junior team being announced and being hyped up as much as it has, it seems like his story has really made the rounds around town, and people are starting to attach themselves to, you know, what great baseball potential that he has ahead of his freshman year in D1.
I'm surprised the level of intensity that he plays with, even in our home runs for the Hungry game. He was dialed in.
He was dialed into the point where he was pitching eventually and had a little bit of trouble trying to hold back. Like, he was the first time I faced him, because he ended up switching teams and pitching to our team. But he was throwing in some change-ups to me.
Kind of before the game, we were just sort of lollygagging and just like hanging around the dugout and stuff. And he was already doing his stretches and, you know, getting ready, treating it like any other ball game. You could just see the work ethic and the repertoire. And he hits this one down the line, past the first baseman and into right field. It'll bring in another run for the Baycats. It's a 13-3 ball game as Lou crosses home plate. And listen to this crowd. They are enjoying this afternoon of baseball. And here's Zachary Owen, the left fielder. So we got 2 runners on for the Baycats, Anderson and Boylan. 2 out in the inning. Owen takes the first pitch.
Owen's still looking for his first hit of the game. He walked and scored in the 4th, scoring on that double from Adam Odd.
So who does not have a hit today other than him? Anybody else? Your score sheet's more complete than mine. I think everybody else has gotten on base at least once.
The 5 spot in the order doesn't have a hit for the Baycats, but has 2 runs scored.
And that was Warden
And Jackson.
Correct.
Every other spot in the order, because there's been so many, you know, places being traded, whether it's Tyler Plumpton and Lilise Beltran as the catchers.
Swing and a miss by Owen. "13 runs, 16 hits for Barrie today. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Reds." McGurk's pitch. Called strike 3. So the Baycats add another run, and they will take a 13-3 lead to the top of the 9th inning. You're watching Baycats TV from Athletic Kulture Stadium.
At bat for the Thornhill
With
Reds,
Julius Hern and
number
Matty Gale, I'm Ben Davy. We are at Athletic Kulture Stadium for this exhibition opener between the Thornhill Reds and the Barrie Baycats. And the Baycats will go to the bullpen once again for left-hander Zach Cote.
Zach Cote, a left-hander on this, what's going to be the junior squad for the Barrie Baycats. I actually used to play with them in junior ball with in my youth.
Weekly hit to second base. Underhand toss is in time for the first out of the inning.
Doesn't have a ton of velocity off the mound, but he prides himself on getting that movement on his pitches. And I think as a lefty, having that mentality, that's going to provide a lot of value to the junior club.
center fielder, number 8, Travis Batt.
Back to the top of the order now for Travis Batts, the center fielder. To face Cote here with one out in the 9th inning. Well, no shortage of arms for Josh Matlow this season. And if the bullpen is a concern, you know that they've got that 22U pipeline ready to go. And a lot of arms that are ready. A couple of names we haven't mentioned yet. Frank Cayetta, a 19-year-old from Bradford. We're told can throw 92 to 94. Ethan Morris, a left-hander from Sudbury. A couple of names that we will likely be seeing at some point here in 2025. Swing and a miss. No, it's a 1-2 count to Travis Batts. Here's the pitch. High fly ball, left field. And a nice running grab in left field by Zachary Owen. Ranging towards that left field line. 2 out in the inning. Here's Tyler Hill for the Reds. Well, a big thank you to everybody who came out today to watch this game, and those of you watching on the broadcast as well. We look forward to bringing you all home games this season on Baycats TV. This one hit weekly back to the mound. The throw to first, in time for the out, and that will do it. An exhibition win for the Barrie Baycats. Champions beat champions. The Reds, 3-time champions in their league, falling to the Baycats today by a score of 13-3.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge confidence booster right away for the Barrie Baycats. And considering how close that these matchups had been in previous years, you know, 1-run games, 2-run games, this one a 10-run blowout in favor of Barrie. So ahead of Thursday's opener, the guys that are here on the IBL squad got to be feeling a little bit higher going into that matchup with the Maple Leafs, who open their season tomorrow.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Inter-County Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited. For Matty Gale and Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. Good night from Springwater Township.
Head on over to the box office at the front of the ballpark. Thank you so much for coming on out to today's game. For the production team, my name is Rob Daniels. Hope to see you back at the ballpark soon.
No, I gave them to her, but like, you don't need them, it's fine.